Hi, Caitlin. How you doing? So I'm looking at your work here, and you've got your two ads submitted. Let's take a look at the first one. And I just want to mention that after reading your writing, I'm wondering about the images you're using and the reasoning behind your your choice of choosing these images. To me, is a little bit questionable. Let me explain what I mean by that. You're saying in your writing that um, you've used your own images, and that's awesome. I think that's really phenomenal. But I'm getting this a little bit out of the work and out of your images. It seems to me like you're trying to force your images into the work. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, and please just give me a listen here for a second. All right, this pineapple here is, I don't know, is this your image? I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't know which images are yours and which aren't because I mean, you mentioned using Pixabay, but you're not giving any image credits, which is really important. You got to give image credits. So please keep that in mind. This pineapple image is really super washed out, meaning that it's really got no tonal variation at all. It's like somebody laid a white sheet over it. There's no contrast and no tonal variation. So subsequently, we have kind of what is called a really boring image in that there's just no variation, nothing interesting between the darkest of the dark greens and the lightest of the light greens, and so on and so forth throughout the color spectrum. So my suggestion here is twofold. Number one, not only do I think that the image is basically underdeveloped, but also it, to me, doesn't resonate a Caribbean resort. I mean, you've got two pineapples on a beach. That, to me, I'm sorry, it just does not tell me Caribbean resort. That's one of the things, for example, where I wanted to see it kind of feels like this image is being forced into place here. Another thing working against you here is the fact that you're using a black and white logo, and the entire top of your ad is black and white, which just really, in conjunction with this washed out image, just really drowning out this ad considerably. Um, have you tried using an image for the whole background? And so, why use a color bar when you can use the whole image? Try that. Do a little research and see what other folks are doing with their Caribbean Resort magazine ads. Okay, good job on your typography. However, I think that you've got everything centered here. So, think about your grid, think about some left alignment here, and try not to really depend so much on center type. Same thing over here. Everything's just centered. And this is really looking where you're really trying to force images in places where they may not otherwise go. Okay, for example, this could be a Caribbean resort, absolutely. However, it's really not, you don't see folks wearing long jeans in the Caribbean at all, ever. I mean, it's shorts 24/7 in the Caribbean. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's just, nobody ever wears pants. So that, especially jeans, I think that would be really warm in the Caribbean. So that's kind of an odd image there. This seems to have no bearing visually on the concept whatsoever. So I'm not following where or why that image is in. This one really gets me. It looks like an image of a little kid taking his shirt off, and there's a pasture in the background. So how this translates to the Caribbean, I just don't. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing it. Okay, my suggestion is to take your image use and really think it through. Okay, and again, think about the development and editing of each and one of your images. This image here, there's in the highlight area, there's a lot of blown out areas here. This one definitely needs a curved or levels adjustment layer. And this one here, and in both these areas here, this white area is completely blown out area where this is a specular highlight where the sun is, and this is a reflection. So those are almost paper white. So those should probably be adjusted back to bring some detail back in those areas. 3 images on the bottom of the image. If you're going to span 3 images across, make sure they're equal distant. You got this one, and then this one is a little tiny one in the middle. So, all right, food for thoughts. Food for thought. And so that's where I'm at. If you have any questions, I'm right here. Feel free to contact me. I can clarify anything that may not be making sense to you at this particular time. All right, thanks very much. Great job.